Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Lance with the National Weather Service in Houston, Galveston. We'll go ahead and begin our briefing here for this afternoon. So I know Dan started this on Friday talking to you about this upcoming Arctic air intrusion and possible winter weather back then on Friday. And we haven't had a whole lot of change looking at the weather over the weekend, but I'm going to go ahead and give you an update, a little rundown on temperatures and chances for freezing rain and advisories and warnings that we have in effect here. So we've had the initial front came through kind of late last night, early in the morning here, and we've had some Arctic air kind of gradually push southward. If you kind of look at the area, it's interesting. We've had kind of a gradient in our cloud cover. So Houston's getting a lot of sun and reached 50 today. But if you go back and you look at Bryan College Station, they're in the upper 20s and cloudy. So that air is still headed south for those who haven't quite gotten it yet, even though we've had the north wind. Colder air is on the way. And our main concern is not only a hard freeze to all inland areas Tuesday and Wednesday morning, and a freeze along the immediate coast as well coming. It's these patches of light freezing rain and drizzle that are expected, that have us a little more concerned for some hazardous driving conditions. And we think this patchy light rain and drizzle will begin this evening, and it'll continue through the day on Monday and shut down Monday evening, kind of shift off to the northeast at that point. Pretty confident we'll see this freezing rain and drizzle, and also pretty confident it'll be less than 1/10 of an inch. The only place where it may get maybe just a little bit above that would be across our four northern areas, and maybe Houston, Trinity counties up there. But if that happens, it should still be just barely above that. And our concern areas generally along and northwest of Edna to Bay City to Richmond to Houston to Liberty Line. In regards to Houston, the threat's greater north and west of the city than probably in the city itself. So we get this light freezing rain drizzle. We tend to get a light glaze on exposed surfaces where it's below freezing. I think that's the kind of setup we have. We could see some light sleet. That would be mainly across northern, northwest areas tonight and tomorrow. And again, the main threat is really kind of this period where it's below freezing and we have precip, which is later tonight and tomorrow on those elevated roadways where it's going to be a little bit colder than our surface roads. So for the freezing conditions, we already have a hard freeze warning out for northwest areas. That includes Huntsville, Crockett, Brenham, College Station, and that's for tonight going into tomorrow morning. But southeast of there, we have a hard freeze watch, and that's for the colder air that's going to be moving, continue to move south and east. And that will be more kind of late Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then again Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And we'll break down these temperatures a little bit more. And then you see the freeze watch along the coast again from Monday night, into Tuesday morning at this point. Probably also see a light freeze there on Wednesday morning as well. And again, we have that highlight. You could see the upper 20s there, even along the immediate coast, but we don't think there'll be a hard freeze there right at the beach. It'll be just above that. Yeah, we get some dangerous wind chills. Unfortunately, this cold air is coming with a lot of wind. So we have a wind chill advisory. We issue that for the temperatures that are between 10 and 15 degrees, the wind chill, the feels like temperature. And that's in effect already for the northern, northwest half of the area for tonight and into the morning. That will likely be expanded for all of southeast Texas as we get into Monday night and Tuesday. So again, I kind of talked about this freezing rain drizzle threat that we have coming. So you can see that the areas that we have outlined in purple kind of outline that threat area from generally Edna. Actually might be a little bit south of Edna. We're going to fill in here this afternoon, this lower part of Jackson County. It's interesting. This air mass is it's really pushing straight south and then shifting kind of east. So it's going to be just as cold in coastal Jackson, I think, as it is, further north. So that's kind of interesting. But you can see generally Edna over to Bay City, and then probably kind of bisecting Fort Bend County, and then kind of also bisecting Harris County. Like I said, the threat west of Houston is greater than east of Houston, and then going over towards Liberty. So kind of along and northwest. That's where we think later tonight and tomorrow we could see some of that accumulating freezing rain, especially on those elevated surfaces or exposed surfaces. And I just took a look at one of our best high-resolution models. You've probably heard of it before, the HER model. These are the freezing rain amounts that it's generating through the event, kind of through late tomorrow afternoon. And you can see it's really light, generally 0.01 to maybe, like I said, 0.12 up here in like Houston County. But most of the area kind of matches our advisory really well. You see kind of the gradient there in Harris County where you have some light accumulations maybe in the central part, a little bit heavier as you go to the northwest part. And again, note how far south it pushes down into almost South Texas there. So again, we have this gradient there kind of in our upper coastal areas, probably not going to get cold enough while the precip is around there tomorrow to see anything. But just west of there, we're going to see some accumulations, again, on the lighter side. So Dan showed this on Friday. We are expecting low temperatures tonight. It's not going to drop a whole lot from where it already has there in the northwest, but a few degrees. You'll see some lower 20s tonight around College Station, Crockett, Brenham, in that area. And then we'll have the freeze line likely set up kind of where that advisory area is, down to the coast in Jackson, and then kind of going up through Fort Bend County. Western parts of Houston probably going to see a light freeze in the morning, even up around the airport. It'll be real close there at Intercontinental 31, 32, and then over towards Liberty. The city itself probably bottoms out 34, 35 there in Houston. And then, if you get over towards Galveston, it's probably upper 30s near 40, but quite a bit colder Tuesday morning. Tuesday and Wednesday are very similar. It's a little bit colder on Wednesday morning in some areas. A lot of lower to mid 20s across the area, and then maintaining those teens on both mornings in the north. So this is why we think we need that hard freeze warning for all inland areas. We issue that for less than 25. So for Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, that will be coming to areas southeast of where it currently is in effect. Then the wind chill temperatures, we will see those teens tonight in the west and northwest. Then our coldest wind chills actually come Tuesday morning because the wind is stronger Tuesday morning than it is on Wednesday morning. So near zero in the northwest. We'll have to monitor that for a wind chill warning. It'll be close. We should look for negative temperatures for a wind chill warning. It's going to be real close there. But across the area, a lot of single digits and in the teens along the immediate coast there. Not a lot of improvement Wednesday, but again, a little bit lighter winds. So just a few degrees warmer on our wind chill as we get into those cold temperatures Wednesday morning. I thought I'd show some temperature profiles. This is clicking on our forecast points from weather.gov. So if you take a look at Houston, for example, for the week, you can see those colder temps Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning in the 20s, lower to mid 20s. Quite a warm up on Wednesday afternoon. We should get quite a bit of sun again and into the 40s, mid 40s possibly. And then Thursday up into the 60s. And then we have another front coming there kind of late Thursday into Friday. And so we will have some freezing temperatures back in Houston Saturday morning, possibly Sunday morning, but it doesn't look like a hard freeze there. And then again, those really cold wind chill temperatures possibly reaching single digits there early morning, Tuesday morning in Houston. College Station, just colder, doesn't really get above freezing until Wednesday afternoon. So, what you've got now, that 27, 28, just kind of stays there and drops a little bit overnight. And then again, we'll have some teens in College Station Tuesday and Wednesday, and some really cold wind chills there Tuesday morning, almost near zero there. Also seeing a warm up above freezing finally there in College Station on Wednesday afternoon, and a big warm up Thursday. Unfortunately, it looks like you might see a hard freeze in College Station there on Saturday morning behind another front. That'll be close. We'll be monitoring that. And then just to show you the immediate coast in Galveston, quite a bit warmer tonight than what you're going to see the next 2 nights. As we do think we'll get around 30 degrees there a Tuesday morning there and Wednesday morning, and then that'll be the end of it for Galveston for this week. So this is another summary to kind of just show you in 3-hour blocks some minimum temperatures throughout late Sunday here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So highlighting kind of what I've already showed in some of the temperature traces, but we have a lot more cities here listed for your reference. So a lot of 20s and then teens there in College Station for a few periods there, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. Long duration freeze there. You can see, probably about 60 hours or so. And then if you look at Houston, it's a little trickier. I think at some point late Monday afternoon, we go below freezing. But we just kind of hover just above most of the day. on Monday. Again, if you're in the suburbs on the west and northern side, you probably will be below freezing there in Harris County. But Houston itself, the city, at least the core of the city there in downtown, probably stays above freezing until we get into late afternoon Monday. And then that will stay below freezing all through Tuesday morning. Then another period of freezing from Tuesday evening all the way through Wednesday morning. So you can use that as a reference. Again, like if you look at Katy, for example, a little different story than Houston. Like I've been talking about, only a brief period above freezing, maybe early afternoon on Monday. Otherwise, they're probably below freezing, even beginning later this evening. I want to touch a little bit on the marine forecast. Small craft advisory conditions are expected tonight. Then the pressure gradient really tightens up as we get into Monday night into Tuesday morning, and we are expecting gale conditions. So the bay is going to be rough, offshore 25 to 35, gusts even over 40 knots. That'll drive some wave heights up to 12 feet while offshore. We're monitoring for low water levels Monday night and Tuesday. Our modeling isn't really highlighting that we'll get more than a foot below, but I'm a little skeptical. So it's possible we'll have some low water Monday night and Tuesday without high winds. So we'll be watching that closely. So just to summarize, we expect Arctic air here will continue to push south and then eventually east here as we get tomorrow. We'll really make that eastward push. Hard freeze is expected Tuesday, late Monday night into Tuesday morning, and as well as Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, all inland areas, and a freeze along the immediate coast. We're watching that patchy freezing rain and drizzle that's expected to start up this evening, and that'll continue in through the day on Monday. Should be ending southeast areas there on Monday evening. Kind of already highlighted there where we're concerned about that. And the main threat here is just going to be on those elevated roadways. Do we get some slick spots? Again, we can see that if it's cold enough. So especially where it's going to be below 30 in those northwest areas and those northern areas, southeast Texas, definitely probably going to see more of it than what we're going to see maybe in the central areas. But we'll monitor. It's going to just depend on where we have these little areas that get a little bit more precip than others, and that's pretty hard to forecast right now.